Hello everyone, Kathryn here from the Sewing Studio at Lady Lake and the Sewing Studio Fabric Superstore. This week's 5-Minute Friday is super cool. So I always love pushing the boundaries for myself, to grow myself, to learn and do more. And I was searching around on Pinterest like I always do, and I found this really cool 3D pinwheel quilt block. So let me hold it up and show you guys. Look how cool. So a lot of different colors that I saw online were in, you can do all kinds of different fabric ways and colorways. But the thing that I love about pinwheels is that they are typically made out of that iridescent plastic. So I wondered to myself, I wonder if you could do this with sparkle organza or crystal organza. And the answer is yes. So let me show you what I used. So first of all, I found a pearlized cotton. So this has just a little bit of shimmer all on its own. So that provided the little background base. And I wanted to use a nice white or super light cream so that the colors of the pinwheel would stand out against it. Okay, then you can use either sparkle or crystal organza or iridescent organza. So depending on what you use, these have a very light and airy texture to them. All right, so the bulk of what you're going to need for this quilt block is 8 blocks that are all the same size. 4 of those blocks are going to be your background fabric, and 4 of those blocks are the pinwheel. So if we look from overhead, Eric, you've got 4 blocks that are one size, that are the iridescent cotton, that are your background, and then 4 blocks that are exactly the same size, but 4 of them that are out of your pinwheel fabric. So once I had all my little blocks cut, I went ahead, and what you do is you're going to take your pinwheel fabric and you are going to fold it in half. Once you've folded it in half, this particular organza I found to be a little bit tricky to work with. So the first thing that I did was sew an 1/8 of an inch seam from the center point out to the edge, and then from the center point out to the edge, just so that I had a little bit more manageable block. So on this pink, you can see from here out 1/8 of an inch, from here out 1/8 of an inch. And that was just to lock in my diagonal fold on my pinwheel block. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to arrange your folded pieces to where the centers are all meeting. All right, now let me show you how the magic happens, because this part's a little bit tricky. So I have a little fabric to demonstrate here with my little cardstock. Okay, so these greens are my pinwheel fabric. The blues are my background fabric. So basically what you're doing is you're taking your outside corner and folding it in to the center. So your outside corner folds into the center. Now again, your outside corner folds into the center. Your outside corner folds into the center. Wait, 3rd verse, 4th verse, same as the others. Your outside corner is going to fold into the center. All right? So once you've done that, you're going to pin your pieces in place. So let me set that aside, and I'm going to show you. Here we go on this one. What I've done is I've taken my 2 bottom pieces and I laid them together, and I'm going to sew from the center of my block out to the outside edge. So see, there's the one, and again from the center of my block to the outside edge. Once you have sewn those into place, you're going to take the top half of your block and the bottom half of your block, you'll lay them together. You're going to want to open your seams. So as you sew these 2 together, and honestly, I found that it was easier to sew from this point out and from this center point out, because there's quite a bit of bulk as you work into this area in here. Now, a trick to getting these centers is that you can take your pin and you can put it through that connection point of the seam to the back side and make sure you find that center point. There it is. So that way I know that my direct center, let's close up on that, Eric, if we can. So the direct center is right through the seam on the back side, just as much as it's through the seam on the front side. Okay, so once you have the 4 of those sewn together, you basically have your block. When I finished this block, I found that it was really nice that we had this like texture going on. That's the whole point of having the 3D block. But with this kind of sparkle organza and lame, I found that I wanted to do just a little bit of top stitching. So from the center of the block to the top folded part of my pinwheel fabric, on each of these, I went ahead and sewed that, and then as you can see on this one, I sewed down the main portion there to help lock it in place. So I've just done a little bit of stitching, top stitching, really close to that seam. It has also helped actually lay the seams open, as you can see here. It helps make that all that extra bulk in your fabric lay down nice. And with organza, of course, sparkle organza and the iridescent organza, you're going to want to be careful with pressing it too much. So make sure you do your finger pressing along the way and your block will get into place. So this is this week's project, a 3D pinwheel block. You can find all kinds of patterns on Pinterest. Like I said, they're all out there, but it has a lot of movement and a lot of shimmer. And the sparkle organza and the iridescent organza were not nearly as scary as I thought they'd be to work with. So I hope you guys have a lot of fun with this. If you have any questions, give us a call, shoot us an email. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a great weekend.